Well, good morning, everyone. It's very nice to see you after our conference. My name is Sasia Gallegos. I'm currently at Yale. I'm Advanced Imaging Program Director and an APD for the General Fellowship Program. And it's really an honor to be with you guys this morning, talking about interesting topics about the future of nuclear cardiology. Rin, let's start with you.
Sure. I'm Rin Shetty. Very nice to meet everybody. I'm at the University of Louisville, currently a multimodality imager, and also very proud member of the Leadership Development Program of ASNC.
Hi everyone, I'm Attila Feher. I'm at Yale University, and my main focus is multimodality imaging with CT, MRI, and nuclear studies. And my research interest is in coronary microcirculation and also cardiorheumatology.
Hi everyone, I'm Sami Abu Zaid, a clinical imaging cardiologist here in Alaska Heart and Vascular Institute in Anchorage, Alaska. And nice to see everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Mahmoud Al-Rifai. I'm an assistant professor of cardiology at Houston Methodist DeBakey Heart and Vascular Center. I'm a multimodality imager specializing in cardiac PET and CT, and my interests are in myocardial blood flow and coronary plaque.
Hi everyone, I'm Talal Nabulsi. I'm one of the multimodality imagers at the University of Kentucky and the nuclear lab director over here.
Awesome. So you are all doing like fun stuff. Besides my role in medical education, I'm co-directing the amyloid program here with at Miller. And one of the things that as part of the training with the fellows is a lot of them are more interested in other imaging modalities at nuclear cardiology. They have this perception that maybe nuclear is not as cool or as applicable, or that it's not up and coming, or it's just spec. Have you had those conversations with your trainees, or you all have different research interests? How do you, like, when you get these comments or questions, even when you have career mentorship kind of when it comes to nuclear cardiology, what do you tell your trainees about where we're at and what excites you of what you're doing?
I'm happy to start us off.
Yeah, awesome.
I can tell you, we started our PET program a couple of years ago here, so I had the chance to see or mentor the fellows throughout the phase of pre and post PET implementation. And I honestly, you don't have to tell them much about PET to convince them of how great of an imaging modality is, because after they've been through the rotation and they've read PET scans and correlated with cath, etc., they know, they appreciate, they understand the value of PET. And in terms of diagnosing obstructive CAD, for example, they appreciate the value of myocardial blood flow, the excellent image quality it provides compared to SPECT, the hybrid imaging, providing coronary artery calcification, as well as myocardial blood flow. I think there's a lot more information that they can glean from each image, from each study, and there's more confidence in image interpretation and therefore correlation. So I think practically they see the value of it, particularly in the area of stable ischemic heart disease or obstructive heart disease.
And I think just having that experience of building a PET program, right? Because it introduces to a role of administration and leadership of building a program. Pretty cool, particularly with all the characteristics of PET that you were mentioning.
Absolutely.
And I think the new generation are aware that the scope of the disease of coronary artery disease has changing with the increased diagnosis of microvascular disease and different subtypes of coronary artery disease. They understand that non-invasive diagnosis with different modalities have different powers. And I think I remember a couple of weeks ago, actually, I gave a lecture for the medical residents, and a lot of question and excitement about microvascular ischemia, microvascular disease, how we can improve our diagnosis. We still have unanswered questions, and I think with the advancement in cardiac PET and the new radio tracers, we're going to have that coming up, and I think this is very exciting for the new generation of our workforce.
To piggyback of what Sami said, and also Talal, people are interested in multimodality imaging, and without nuclear cardiology, it's very incomplete. And being a passionate advocate for women and heart disease, I think, diagnosing heart disease in women without nuclear cardiology is just not possible, because it gives us unparalleled diagnostic accuracy, risk stratification, like they talked about microvascular dysfunction, and we present so atypically that a lot of times we're brushed aside. So I think these modalities really complement any cardiology program.
Yeah, it's interesting what you mentioned, Ceci, about this that nuclear cardiology they don't see, so some people don't see that as bright. I had some conversations with our cardiothoracic radiology director, and he told me just a few weeks ago that a lot of people envisioned the downfall of nuclear cardiology so many times in the past, and nuclear cardiology just prevails. Like, we invent new ways of doing things, like assessing for microvascular disease, but and also what we haven't talked about is molecular imaging. I think molecular imaging is the future. We will be able to localize and define pathophysiology within the heart as nobody ever has done before. And I think nuclear cardiology is really at the forefront of this, and imaging inflammation, fibrosis, amyloidosis, and many other processes that can involve the heart.
And we're fortunate here at Methodist that we've had an established PET program for a few years now. And fellows are exposed to SPECT and PET. And I think as they graduate from SPECT to PET, they begin to realize the power that PET has to offer, specifically when it comes to hybrid imaging and myocardial blood flow. And they also see the various applications that Attila also talked about, including inflammation, infection, amyloid, viability, FDG imaging. And so they really do see the power of PET. And I think they're excited about it. And I think PET is still underutilized, but with this new generation of physicians now getting training in PET, I think we're going to see more and more reading PET scans.
And also Flurperda is making it much more accessible, not just focused in the tertiary centers. It's very exciting.
I mean, just that the fact that I've been here at Yale for 8 years with my training, and like it's an early career, and I've already seen, coming from a place that only has SPECT and PI, and just thinking about nuclear cardiology, we can't limit it to perfusion, but the evolution of the different applications is just being able to offer great quality imaging with exercise. I think it's one of those things that some imaging modalities don't have, but not only that, I think that puts nuclear cardiology really at the forefront of just talking like ischemia. But I think molecular imaging is something that we tend to not think about when we talk about nuclear cardiology. Obviously biased because I'm in the amyloid sphere, but how did we talk about amyloid 8 years ago compared to what we talk about now, right? We have exponentially increased the diagnosis of TTR amyloidosis just by a simple scan, that kind of old technology, if you want to put it that way. But now that, there's treatments and everything, really nuclear cardiology has shifted and increased the diagnosis of a condition that used to be considered more like rare, but truly it has been underdiagnosed, right? And Attila probably is able to give more examples. Even peripheral artery disease, like the stuff that some of you are doing. I think those are things that 5 years from now are going to be totally applicable in the clinical practice.
I think what's also interesting is that you said that these talks have been totally different 10 years ago. But if you think about it, what it's going to be like in 10, 20, or 30 years, we'll say like, oh, you who uses PYP anymore? This is like so old school, right? This is going to be so different. There are so many new tracers in the pipeline that the field is changing, and we have to evolve with it. We have to use it, embrace it, use it in our research, and be at the forefront to introduce them to everyday clinical practice.
For me, it's the expanded use of PET. I think the rate limiting step so far has been the radio tracers, requiring really complicated setups. But now with Flurperda being approved by the FDA, and I think new radio tracers in the pipeline, democratizing PET and making it more accessible, more available, I think is really exciting and will certainly help improve our understanding and ability to diagnose obstructed CAD.
And I think just from the role of medical education too, I think we've all had the opportunity to participate in programs like the Leadership Development Program that really has helped us also push the nuclear cardiology forward. So I think that's super cool.
So why are you wearing your sunglasses?
Because the future
Because the future is bright.
Right.
Cardiology is bright.
Very bright.
And we are the future. So we're happy to be part of nuclear cardiology.